welcome to the shop. I guess you could call me a romantic because this time of year has me waxing nostalgic. And one thing I've learned so far on this motorcycle ride through life is that it's healthy to pull over every now and then, get off, enjoy the scenery, and take stock of all the good things in your world. To be happy, you have to consciously be happy, if that makes sense. One of the many good things in my life is this 2008 Honda Goldwing. I bought it in 2020 with about 77,000 kilometers on the clock, but in ways it feels like we've been together much longer than that. My wife and I got back into street bike riding together after I restored a 1984 Honda V65 Sabre in 2015. But we quickly realized that we're no longer reckless youth of the 1980s. We wanted something more comfortable and with more storage. This Goldwing has all the factory options that were available in 2008, except a CD player and airbag. It also has a few armloads of aftermarket accessories. I'm a simple guy who prefers natural beauty, so I'm not big into bling, and I likely wouldn't have gone for some of the cosmetic add-ons. But I have learned to appreciate some of the others. After 20,000 kilometers on it, I've come to love this bike for many reasons. Some guy wrote, "Let me count the ways," and I guess that's what I'll do here. For one thing, the Goldwing does what it can to protect its riders from the elements. The fairing and windshield fend off most of the wind, and if you're moving, the rain. In fact, this is the first street bike I've owned in 40 years that I actually enjoy riding in the rain. With such a protective traveling partner, you're ready to go out into the world no matter what obstacles you face. And your life is richer as a result. Something I too often take for granted is how this bike quietly does small things to make my journeys more enjoyable. The heel-toe shifter is a good example. Big bikes have big, heavy transmissions, so toe-up shifting takes a bit of work. Heel-down shifting is effortless. I've heard the horror stories about the transmission damage heel-toe shifters can cause, but I suspect that only happens when they're not used properly. I shift using a gentle but firm motion, then I keep my clodhopper completely off the lever the rest of the time. That shifter just makes riding easier and more enjoyable, so much that I miss it now when I ride one of our other bikes. Like so many small things others routinely do for us, we can easily forget the difference they make, but we miss them when they're not along for the ride. Cruise control is another feature I love because it makes long highway rides more enjoyable. Being able to move your right arm prevents some aches or cramps, and when you can let the machine manage your speed, you're less likely to break the limit, something a Goldwing will quite happily do. It just takes care of one of the small things you'd otherwise have to do yourself. Kinda like when you sleep late on a Sunday morning, and a fresh, hot coffee is waiting for you when you get up. I took this bike on an iron butt ride in 2021. I covered about 1,700 kilometers in under 20 hours. And in the last hour, I realized that I still had no aches or discomfort. I could think of nothing about the bike that I would change to make the trip better. On any long, challenging journey, it's good to have a dependable traveling companion. Steady as a rock. No unnecessary drama. Just along to share in the adventure, making it better, because shared experiences are the best ones. Reverse is another thing that I appreciate about this Goldwing. I don't use it often, but it's nice to have when I need it. As in life, sometimes the load seems too heavy to push uphill on your own. It's nice to be able to spread the work around, and the Goldwing is always ready to help. With most motorcycles, it's accepted that mirrors are just jewelry, added to make the bike pass a safety inspection and give you a clear view of your elbows. This is another way the Goldwing breaks the norm. Some people say Goldwings have Honda Civic mirrors, but as far as I can tell, they don't. What I do know is that they actually work. Mine have the added blind spot mirrors, but even without those, the field of vision to the rear and sides is the best I've seen on a bike, or some cars for that matter. And I can scan that field without even moving my head. These mirrors give me a surprising sense of security. It's like having another set of eyes looking out for me, making me more aware of what's going on around me. Knowing that you always have each other's backs is a key ingredient in any successful relationship. If Goldwings weren't comfortable, people wouldn't ride them for hundreds of thousands of miles. I guess after 4 decades of making them, Honda has worked out most of the ergonomic bugs. The Goldwing's upright riding position is ideal for hours in the saddle, but at first I experienced shoulder and upper back pain. Turns out this is common for vertically challenged riders like me, and a set of handlebar risers from MBL Innovations completely cured it. This bike came with an aftermarket Utopia backrest that wasn't installed. I was getting minor lower back aches on longer rides, but those went away after I installed this backrest and adjusted it to my liking. With time and experience together, my Goldwing and I have adapted to each other and found a harmonious, comfortable coexistence. There's a little bit of me in it, and there's a little bit of it in me. It fits me like no other bike can. I guess you could say we're custom made for each other. After a couple of decades of traveling with kids in tow, my wife and I have become accustomed to packing for every trip like it's a year-long safari. So we wanted a bike with lots of storage space, and the Goldwing delivered. My wife could pack a small apartment into a suitcase, so the trunk and side bags give us plenty of space to carry everything we'd need to deal with any contingency we could imagine. The trunk holds 2 full-face helmets, and it's nice not needing to carry them with us when we stop for a bite or a walk around. Being well prepared is important, but why take any journey if you can't have fun along the way? The Goldwing is always up for having fun. Its 1.8-liter engine would easily move a small car, and contrary to some opinions, a Goldwing isn't a car. Thanks to the flattest torque curve I know of for a motorcycle, this engine is ready to go anytime between idle and redline. With subtle coaxing in the form of a slight twist of the wrist, it transforms from pussycat to lioness, and your trip from leisurely cruise to thrill ride. It can go as fast as I dare, for as long as I want. I couldn't ask for more than that. Not only is that engine barrels of fun, it makes the bike very easy to ride at lower speeds because you don't need to shift gears so often. If you're riding at 50 kilometers per hour, the typical urban speed limit in my part of the world, you can easily cruise along in overdrive, which in this case is 5th gear. It even says so in the owner's manual. On the V65 Sabre, I was constantly shifting at lower speeds because it had a more peaky torque curve. I couldn't use top gear on that bike until I was going at least 100 kilometers per hour. Like skilled people with the strength of confidence and experience, my Goldwing can make difficult tasks look easy. In situations where many would struggle, it just powers through with the grace of apparent ease. And I'm sure I take that for granted too often. My Goldwing's handling is another way it shows its fun-loving nature. Yeah, I like the way this half-ton of motorcycle handles. Okay, it's not what the canyon carving crotch rocket set are going for, but it does handle well for a big touring bike. The boxer engine carries its weight down low, making the bike surprisingly flickable. And even though you have an acre of plastic around you, All you can see when you're looking straight ahead is the stuff you'd see on many other bikes, although it's bigger, more luxurious stuff. Throw in that engine's ungodly torque, and you'll get the illusion that you're riding a sporty-ish bike. It doesn't take long on a Goldwing before you find yourself nailing the apexes just like a real squid. It's normal for younger generations to believe they invented recreation, including sporty motorcycles, and it doesn't make intuitive sense that a 15-year-old touring bike could be so much fun in the curves. Like a sleeper hot rod, a Goldwing's power and handling offer a much more thrilling ride than its elegant outward appearance would have you assume. It's something I'm sure most riders would like, if they knew what they were missing. I also love the sound of the 1800cc Goldwing engine. Apparently it sounds like a 6-cylinder boxer engine from a Porsche. I'm between Porsches 0 and 1 right now, so all I know is that, like a resting lioness, this engine has a deep purr at idle. But shovel on the coal, or threaten the well-being of her cubs, and that lioness can roar with an authority that brings everyone to attention. I can't list the things I love about my Goldwing without talking about its beauty. I've liked its looks from the moment I laid eyes on it, and although it's not new, it has aged surprisingly well. To me, it still has all the right curves in all the right places, the way a real bike should. But that's not just me. Often when we pull into a busy parking lot, get off, and walk into a coffee shop or restaurant, I notice others checking out my Goldwing. Yes, fellas, I'm a lucky man, and I know it. Hey, since you stuck around this long, you might like my tribute to the mid-1970s Honda CB404. So check out that video right after you like and share this one. Thanks for watching.